Hello, hello, it's Carrie, So Much Glitter. I just wanted to get myself situated. I lost connection, so it had me restart my live. I'm going to go ahead and try to find my live on my device. I'm going to be doing a Crafty Advent today, so if you want to play along, go ahead and get out maybe like an old deck of cards. I did get some from Five Below. These were $1, so I couldn't pass them up because every time I see cards in the thrift store we're missing something, which is probably fine, but I just figured that this was good. I did write some Advent prompts down, and I'm going to go ahead and get situated. So just grab your favorite drink. I do have my cinnamon dolce tea and my Santa mug, so if you want to get cozy, I am going on a few minutes earlier than 11 o'clock. But that is because I do have an appointment in a little bit, and I have a live Zoom session with one of my professors that because since I made it into the honors portion of my program, I do weekly sessions with her. So anyway, it's just like a supervision. So I kind of wanted to get on here a little bit early so I had time to get creative for self-care. So thank you for joining me. And I'll go ahead and try to find myself over here on my computer. And if that doesn't work, I'll go ahead and pull out my other phone. But it looks like I'm going to be able to find myself. Okay. I might be a little bit behind. So I do just want to make sure that it's a live feed. So I apologize for taking a few minutes, but now that I have my orientation correctly, I can try to work on all of the other things. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. I'll be sipping on my tea, like I said. It's kind of just a nice day out where I am. So I know we're not in the Advent season, but tomorrow is the first. I believe it's tomorrow because this month has just gone by. So I hope everyone had a fabulous holiday and a fabulous holiday weekend. I did get the holiday off. I had to work on Friday, so then this weekend just became like a regular weekend for me. I'll be on call again next weekend, so I am getting a good chunk of time off in December and for the new year, so I'm very excited about that. So I am trying to prioritize my self-care, and this is like the very busy season of creating, right? So I kind of just want to jump into it. A lot of us have probably finished and mailed off our Christmas cards already. And then there's a lot of us that haven't even started. And then there's a lot of us that are in the middle. So wherever you are, don't worry. What I'm going to do is create some fun Crafty Advent inspiration out of the playing cards. I'm only doing the 12 days of Christmas. So I only pulled out 12 cards because that's all that I probably will have time for. I do not think that I will get to decorate all 12 of these cards in this live, but that would be the goal, but I do not know if I will have enough time. So I'm going to challenge you that if you're watching this and you're watching this on the replay, I suspect, go ahead and post. Maybe in my community, I believe I do have it to where you can post or find me on Instagram and tag me. What kind of Crafty Advent projects you work on, or do you not? Or do you lose inspiration during this time of year? This time of year is not happy and healthy for everybody, so I completely understand that. So crafting is my self-care. My big goal for this Crafty Advent was to just have some fun prompts and something that could spark some creativity, and maybe you want to create over the holiday, but you don't want to, I'm gonna set my cards aside, but maybe you don't want to feel the pressure of the time crunch and all of that. I completely understand that. So I did kind of write up some crafty prompts. I love, love, love the Christmas season. I am a big holiday girly of all holidays. Halloween and Christmas are my favorite. I love New Year's. It's time for relaxation, renew, you know, reflection. I love all of that. I love the tradition of Thanksgiving and family because there's no pressure on that like there is put on Christmas, and I do know that affects people a little bit differently. So a lot of people just lose their crafty mojo during this time of year. I developed some crafty prompts that are indicative to me and things that I enjoy. But what I thought this could do would be like a fun little game with your friends. You guys could make these up together. We're going to decorate the cards, and then you could make this a game. You could put them in an envelope, a basket, whatever you want to do, shuffle them up, and then pull out a card and then decorate a project, maybe a journal page, a scrapbooking page, a card, whatever you would like based on the prompt. I tried to do a lot of these to where that they could have multiple meanings, but since this is, I do have all my Christmas supplies out, this will be geared towards Christmas, but just know that like sparkle could be something else. That could be like you could put a picture on a project of you and your family watching the stars, whatever you enjoy doing. Maybe it's a big camping weekend for you. Santa, that's going to be pretty self-explanatory. I put trees in here because I love Christmas trees, but maybe you just love watching trees, being in nature, things like that. People, that could go for anything. Maybe you like people watching. We did just past Black Friday, although 2025 Black Friday compared to 1989 Black Friday is quite different, but you kind of get the gist of it. Gingerbread, I love everything gingerbread. We have winter, bold could be anything, vintage, fun, animal, presents, and tradition, whatever your tradition may be. So we're going to go ahead and start with the first one, and that's going to be sparkle. So what I'm just going to do, this is basically like, I'm measuring this is a 3.5 by a 2.5. So this is basically going to be like decorating an ATC. So you could really just make up your own. If you don't have a deck of cards, you could make up your own. But I did want to do the deck of cards because they're a little bit thicker, and if you want to play them in a game or pull them out of an envelope or whatever you want to do, you could kind of shuffle these around a little bit. So that's what I'm doing. And I just want to make sure everything's running smoothly on my end. And it looks like it is. Okay. So I will add a description to the video a little bit later and any links that I use. I forgot my last live. I went live last Sunday. Excuse me. And I forgot to make it public because I didn't realize that it made it private until it goes public. So I just did that a few days ago. So go back and watch that if you would like. That was a whole Wizard of Oz. I want to use my sparkly paper for sparkle, and I want to use some rock candy. So I'm very excited for this. These images are from Sweet Pea Curiosities. This is printed on my glitter printer paper, so no glitter comes off. This is very well set in here. It's not two-sided, so however you feed it into your home printer. I love this. Absolutely love this. So I want to use something on here that's sparkle. I think I want to use the train, and I have all of my goodies around me. I just do not have enough space in my immediate vicinity. So I am going to be kind of pulling from behind me, the side of me, things like that. Okay, so I do want to use this, and I think I want to have the rock candy kind of falling down on the train, but what I want to do is I want to have a background, and this is vellum. The Holly Jolly Vellum from Michaels. Absolutely love this. So I wanted to use like a fun background where the train was maybe going through the countryside or something like that. There's a lot of fun trains right now for like Christmas, like the Polar Express type things. I do know San Diego County does stuff like that, and they sell out pretty quickly. I have so much paper next to me, but I just kind of wanted to, okay, I have this as well, and this is in my Michael's Holly Jolly set. And I think I either want this one to be the background, or, so you can see how I may run out of time to do this, right? Or maybe something like this would be fun, but I did see another one that could be for trees too. See, we could do so much with these little fun, crafty Advent prompts. This does not have to be Christmassy. This is just something that can spark a little bit of joy in you for the holiday season. No pressure to create anything. This would be a lot of fun too. I think I'm gonna go with this though, because I kind of want to really zhuzh up the sparkle. We really want to showcase the sparkle. Okay, so we have number 1 flying off. These do not need to be numbered. You're covering them up. It doesn't really matter. So if you have some thicker cardstock or some old playing cards, or, you know, from kids games like Old Maid or whatever it is, get that out. I am doing this project to remind people that self-care is really big during this time of year. And you do not need to go out and buy a bunch of new supplies for a bunch of projects and a bunch of Christmas cards that you may be giving out or mailing out or whatever you're doing this year. Go through your stash, find what you have, look up some crafty prompts, maybe develop your own. I developed my own out of things that I enjoy. And just kind of have your stash out with you, and you can decide what speaks to you and what doesn't, and then you'll just kind of get into like a whole different crafty frame of mind. I am really taking the plunge to cut this because I cannot definitely see these lines well enough to use my paper trimmer. And I don't want to cut into any of the other. I think I cut one of these a little bit crooked, but I don't even know if you could tell. See, so he's just going to kind of span the bottom of the card, if you will. I think this is where I cut it a little bit crooked. So that I'm going to need to kind of trim down a little bit more. And this paper is a little bit thicker, so I do have to sink my blade in the middle of the project, and then I just kind of want to make that a little bit even. Okay, so he's not lining up completely perfect. We could do these however we want, right? So I'm going to do this. I am going to have this be the background. So we have 3.5 by 2.5, and so that's just kind of what I'm gonna do. Set this off to the side, 3.5 by 2.5, and the first, you could do these in any order. I just wrote these in an order that I liked. So you could kind of do this in any little order that you want. Decorate them however it inspires you. And then glue them down. I might need to use Fabri-Tac for this, and I do, because these are rounded cards, so I do have my Crop-A-Dile off to the side. I do not have any sandpaper to like scuff this up or anything to make it to where it's going to stick a little bit better, so I hope that my glue will stick with it, and I won't need to bring out the Fabri-Tac, but you never know. That's okay if I do, because it's sitting right in front of me. So I'm gonna glue this down, hoping. I've had this glue topper off for the better part of a week, and I didn't even realize it. So here we are, and I hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving. And let me know in the comments below what you're looking forward to most of all. And if you're not looking forward to any of this holiday stuff, like, that's okay. What crafty adventures are you looking forward to? I am participating in a crafty collaboration called Terry's Crafty Christmas. So if you want to go ahead and subscribe to my channel, stay tuned for that. I'll be posting the link tree and you can follow along. There's prizes that you can win. There's Facebook group that you can join. I'm going to be doing that, and next Sunday my video comes out, so that is very exciting. And there's lots of wonderful creators that I'm friendly with, that I've been admiring, that are going to be on the Crafty collaboration. And Terry is with Sweet Pea Papers. So this is a little bit bigger, and I did it a little bit crooked, but I'm not going to worry. So what I will do is probably get out my Crop-A-Dile and crop that all down. So let me do that. And it is closer than I thought. I just have to grab the correct one. Okay, so my microfiber towel kind of saves me from making a mess on my desk. And I tried to put my nicer mat down today, but I still do have like a little bit of crafty stains and all of that goodness. I do need to dust this off a little bit because I haven't used this in a little bit. So I am just punching it with the 1/2 inch side. You could do the 1/4 inch side. You could do whatever you want. And that is a little bit ragged right there. So I'll just trim that down. No worries. I have a little bit of a present avalanche off to the side. I did do some Black Friday shopping. I'm going to want to round these corners too, because that's just how I am. Welcome, welcome. I'm so glad that you're here. Please say hello in the chat, and we're going to be doing some Crafty Advent. I'm decorating some playing cards with some prompts that I developed, and I'm just doing the 12 days of Christmas. And I am working on inspiration. So if you're not feeling like the crafty inspiration, there's no worries. I like to kind of take time. This is a really hectic time of the year. So because I did round this off, I'm going to want to round the picture off, right? And I just want this to be sparkle. So what I could do is I could save this, make this a pocket. I could write sparkle in here if I want. I kind of want this to be a little bit self-explanatory. I'm going to take a sip of my Santa tea. So when I am playing a fun little crafty game with friends or whatever I'm doing, and we're pulling these out for prompts, I want it to be fairly self-explanatory, okay? But I could, because I do have some stamps off to the side of me that are alpha stamps, and I could do that if I wanted to. Or I could tuck in a spot right here, which is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make a pocket right here, and I am probably just gonna write on a little piece of paper, probably a sparkly piece of paper, because sparkle is the prompt, what the prompt is, just in case if the image doesn't give it away. And I am going to be putting some rock candy on the top of this. I'm going to leave me and my messy handwriting off to the side so you can kind of see what I'm doing off to the side over here. But okay, so let's see. So let's just trim a little bit of this down. Okay, and what we could do is write sparkle in here. We could fold it. We could do that. I could decorate that a little bit. That would be a little bit of fun. Maybe zhuzh it up with a little bit of ribbon. So let's kind of see. So I'm going to write sparkle on the inside. Let me see if I have a pen in front of me, and I do. I have a black tip pen. And I'm just going to write sparkle on here. So if you wanted to play this game with a friend and you're pulling things out of a basket or, you know, whatever, and it just kind of like prompts, you know, it's a little bit of a sparkle. I don't know. Just something a little bit fun. So then we're going to put the sparkle in here. I'm probably going to put it this way because I might want to put a little bit of ribbon. But what I'm going to do first is I am going to put down some glue, and then I am just going to probably spill the rock candy everywhere because that's what I do. And I'm just going to put the glue down kind of how I want it to appear. But we don't want it to interfere with the pocket, right? Too much. So I'm going to put that down. I am going to adjust over here off to the side. And just as if I was, so I'm going to create a crease in this just so it'll be a little bit easier to get this back in the container. Just as if we were embossing. This is what I do. Sometimes with a coffee filter, I don't think I have any of those, and I haven't like paid attention at the Dollar Tree because Dollar Tree normally has them. So I just do like a piece of paper, like a piece of copy paper. Gonna kind of let that sit for a second. I'm gonna have sparkle all over my all over. I'm gonna do another pass at it. This glue dries clear, so please don't panic. The glue dries clear. We're gonna put as much rock candy on it as we can. And then we're gonna leave that off to the side. And lightly tap it, and there we have it. I'm not gonna put this in here. So what I'm gonna do, because it's drying, I'm gonna set it off to the side just like this, okay? So what off to the side for me means right now is just gonna be up in the corner. Up in the corner. I'm gonna put the rock candy back. And this is just a fun way to kind of get your crafty mojo back if you're losing it over the stressful holidays. It's just a really fun way to get the creative juices flowing, you know. It's a lot of fun. And I have not looked at the craft roulette parameters this week, so I'm going to cross off number 1 because I did number 1. Number 2 is Santa. So something like this could work maybe with your craft roulette cards. I do not know. Okay, so now I'm pulling these from here. And what I did just realize is we did not decorate the back of these. So what I could do is I could start decorating the back of all of these, and they could all be the same, so you have no idea what's going on when they're laying face down, which would be a lot of fun. That's probably where I should have started, but that is too late. That's already there. So let me get out some older Christmas paper. I have a big little carrying case of Christmas papers, and I do not nearly use them enough, but I think a 12 by 12 will do all of these is what I'm thinking. So I just want to kind of get a fun little unsuspecting holiday like something like this would be fun, right? For the back, because you could use this then for anything. And if you're not just wanting to use this for Christmas, although that does kind of speak Christmas, but I think that's pretty unsuspecting, right? So we're gonna go ahead and decorate the back of this from here. Try to set everything aside. And remember, this was the 3.5 by 2.5. So I'm gonna get out my trimmer and trim it down to 3.5 by 2.5. I'm gonna have to set this aside because now that's getting in the way. Okay, so 3.5 by 2.5. Trim that down. And we're going to trim the 2.5 down. I have the crocodile, so it will, or any round corner punch that you have would be fine. That's just what I use. Okay, and so we're going to just kind of glue the back of this. And then so this is going to be the back of the card, and then I'm going to kind of round it out. But I'm not going to do that until I decorate the card. And the next one is going to be Santa. So that's our next prompt. So I'm going to glue this down first because I'm not planning on using glitter. But you never know where the prompt will take us. And I don't necessarily want to do a okay. a pocket in every single one of these because I kind of want them to speak for themselves. So Santa, maybe we'll just really play up the Santa, and then so we can, that's how we can tell. This just made it through laundry day like yesterday, but it's been around in the craft room for quite a while, so it doesn't necessarily look like it. Okay, so I know what Santa I want to use, and I want to use the Santa from this paper pad, the Holly Jolly, that I got from Michael's because I love anything vintage Santa. So what we're gonna do is try to flip to that, and I got it right here. I just want everything about this to be Santa. So we have Santa in the background. Let's see if we have any more Santas here, which I believe I do. So I have a pile of, and then I got this in vellum as well because this is just too cute. So if I wanted to make a pocket, I guess I could, because this is just really cute. I absolutely love this. But let's see if we can be a little bit more creative than that, than doing a pocket everywhere. There's from Santa, which would be super, super cute. I think I want to use one of those actually. And this is the newer one. Actually, don't know. I have both of these and I don't know which one is the new one this year. Oh, this is the older one. This is the newer one. So this is the newer one. This is the older one. So let's see what they have in here in the newer one for Santa. And they might just have Santa obviously in here in words, and that would be perfect. So you can kind of see how these get going. And then when you want to play like a little crafty advent game with your friends and you're pulling these out. Oh, so these do have the same ones, which is super, super exciting. So I'm going to pull out of the old one, and let's see if they have Santa, Dear Santa Claus. Okay, that is perfect. We want that on there. Dear Santa Claus. Okay. And then we want to pull Santa out and maybe use a Santa from my stash. I don't know. Like, who knows? Okay. But at least we'll kind of get the gist of what the prompt is for this card. Okay. Now let's do 2.5 by 3.5 again. And this is a project all on its own, right? So we have 3.5 by 2.5, but this is directional. So I'm gonna do it that way and hope that it turns out right. This is a project all on its own, so this can kind of get your creative juices flowing. And then if you, I don't know if you mass produce cards or not. I know a lot of people do. They mass produce Christmas cards, and you know, like I said earlier, a lot of you are probably already done with that, but I am not. I do not enjoy mass producing Christmas cards, not even in the slightest. So I will get bored and I will have to have different designs, and so I try to keep my Christmas cards fairly simple so they can go by fairly quickly. I stopped sending out packages like to family and friends a few years ago. I probably during COVID, because I was going through a lot of difficult things in my life during COVID, and my kids were older, so I really just tried to concentrate on that. But we'll just match it up, and then we will do the crocodile. So you can see how the playing card just gives a nice weight in between it. And that was my goal. So we can kind of shuffle these around and play with these. But so I stopped sending out a lot of packages, and I started just kind of zhuzhing up my cards a little bit more. And that's kind of when I dove into Cricut crafting and a lot of card making and things like that, because that was just a real good outlet. That's when I discovered that crafting was more than just creating for me. It was my self-care. So I've really embraced that. And when I go through stressful times, like, you know, I'm finishing school right now, I work in mental health, like I have a lot. My kids are older, I have a grandson, so I have a lot of great things as well. I just need this outlet. And then, you know, menopause comes creeping in, and then you realize, wow, you really do need an outlet. So, okay, now we want to go back to the book because I want to really play up the Santa. Okay, so I have a few Santa stickers. Let's see if we can find a Santa that can go in the middle of this. And we have Dear Santa Claus, right? Now, because I plan on keeping these, I could probably perfectly just stick it down because it'll stick. I can't leave well enough alone. I want to know that it's really going to stick. So hopefully I don't put that on crooked, and I think I did. So there's that, but you know, we do the best, we do the best. Okay, let's see. I do see a Santa Claus in here in this pack. I did purchase this year. There is no date on here, so I do not know if it's from Tim Holtz collection this year or last year. Like, I don't really know. I think he's going to be a little bit too big. But let's see if there's another Santa Claus in here. Super cute for Christmas cards. Put your family picture in the middle. So I do a lot of like cookie plates for friends and family that are close by. I do a lot of creating. I create a lot of cards as gifts. So I'll give people cards in a package. I don't know if I'm going to have another Santa Claus on here. Well, there's Santa Claus too. We don't want to really confuse the... Okay. Now I'm dropping everything. This is a good Santa Claus. I think I found another Santa Claus though that I want to use. So kind of try to put this all back. I might want to use this Santa Claus here. I don't know if he's going to be too big either. Yeah, that's pretty big, isn't it? I'm going to need a smaller Santa Claus. Let's see if we have a Santa Claus on any of this. No. So, these are like people, not... Oh, there's a Santa right there. I don't know how big he is, so... None of this is organized. Like, that would be helpful if it was organized. I could use him. I just didn't want to trim him down. Or I could cut a Santa Claus out of... You know, I could trim him down. Actually, I could trim him down right here, and then I could use this for a different project. That would be fun. Or I could trim a Santa face out of some of my papers. I do have over here. I have, I believe, like this. There's Santa. That would be a good one as well. He might be a little bit big, but I can kind of fussy cut around him. So I might do that. So let's just try that. And then fussy cut around him, and then I can put the From Santa sticker at the bottom. Okay, so since these lines are so super faint, they kind of just go into the next image. So it's really, it's nice, but it's not nice at the same time, like, because I could just kind of make the images as big or as small as I want, but let's tuck this under our pile over here. So if we want to further use this, and remember these were from Sweet Pea Curiosity. So what I'm going to do, because I do not need to get like a real bubble cut around it because the paper is sparkly. I wanted to try to round that as much as I could. So I don't need to really accentuate the sparkle because that's not the prompt in this one. So I'll just fussy cut the best I can. And I like the different contrast in the colors of the design that Marisa did. So, you know, Santa really stands out. It's like a real, like, it's real artsy, like a real, like, what am I looking for? Watercolor. That's what I'm looking for. Yep, I forgot watercolor. It is okay. Okay, so we have that. Dear Santa Claus, right? And so I'm just going to kind of put him in the right here. And let's see if the sticker will fit. Actually, before I glue him down, let me bring back out the sticker. But you see what I'm saying with him? I could have used him and just cut him off right there, and then I could have used this for a different project, which would have been not been wasteful. That would have been nice as well. But I didn't need to do that, so he can stay for another day for maybe his own project. And let's see, there we have from Santa, greetings. Maybe let's do the greetings, and we can kind of just put him down here, and then that card would be done, right? So I might trim that down just a little bit. Yeah, let's do that, I think. I think greetings would be good. Greetings from Santa. Okay, we're gonna stick this off to the side just a little bit. I wanna fully glue him down. We're not doing a pocket with this because we wanted the Santa Claus to be fully explanatory. And I am probably not going to be able to do all 12 today on my live. It's 11:22. Let's see, because I do have an appointment, so we can probably do a little bit more. I don't want to cut it off at 2. That would be silly. I do have time to do a little bit more. Okay, and because these are older stickers, ... not a lot, hopefully. And then I'm just gonna stick him down right here, right in the corner. There it is. And then there is our second prompt of Santa. That is finished. And I wanted to trim this down a little bit because that's a little bit of white space right there. There we go. Okay, so there is the second prompt of Santa Claus. And then the first one was sparkle. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna set that off to the side. We're gonna kind of keep a tally of where we are. And the next one is trees. So that one we can get really creative with. I have, this is also from Marisa, and this is from the Sweet Pea Curiosity set, and it's the same set. I'm gonna link that set when I do the description. And I have the paper book, and I think that there was there's like trees, and you can make bookmarks in here, and there's kind of a lot going on in these paper books, and I just absolutely love it. Love these books. So if you've not checked these out at your local Barnes & Noble, I really, really encourage that. There's trees. I kind of want to go back to look at the gingerbread set as well. There's trees. That's really cute. That would match this actually. So then I do like this side too, and these have the perforated edges. They come out really nicely. Go back and watch a few of my videos I've just made, like out of the Halloween one. I made a journal tree, like that would be good. That could just be the front of it. I think I'm gonna do these two though, because that's what speaks to me. And we don't want to get too caught up in the weeds over here, do we? Okay, so I'm gonna bring back out my trimmer, try to give myself some space. Trim this down, because these you can see the lines a little bit more. They're more pronounced. Probably going to end up fussy cutting the tree as well. I like this tree up top because it's like, you know, a fun vintage Christmas tree, but it's also speaking like a Charlie Brown Christmas tree to me. So speaking of Charlie Brown, that's like a classic, right? Do you guys have any classic Christmas movies that you like to watch? I'm trying to follow along if there is any chatting going on, but I don't see it. I think there's just a few of us in here. So thank you for joining. I'm really excited that you're here. But after my appointment today, I am going to be watching some classic Christmas. My daughter's at work. She doesn't like a lot of that. So, you know, she thinks it's silly. Okay, so we have the 2.5 by 3.5. So this is directional. So I'm going to just start with the 2.5. I am actually going to be watching National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation this afternoon. I have an appointment outside of the house after my professor appointment, so that'll be fun. That'll just be like a quick appointment. And another reason why I wanted to use the playing cards is because I knew I wanted to use some of my paper. And this is really thin paper. There is cardstock also in this this deck, but I'm really gonna have to fussy cut, trim this down so you get the essence of a tree in here. Like, this is much bigger, but I'm all for that. So I wanted to use the playing card too, because that gives it, you know, you get that extra strength without having to get out a bunch of different weight card stocks and things like that. So I absolutely love National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. It's just a classic for me. It's so super funny. I grew up watching it. It was my mom's favorite Christmas movie. But it's just funny. Just fun and stupid and everything at the same time. And perfect for a Sunday afternoon escape. I did most of my cleaning yesterday, so got to get ready for the week ahead tomorrow. So that's not necessarily fun, right? Okay. My computer says I was glitching, so I hope I wasn't. It gives me these different prompts. It's just, it gets silly. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm going to fussy cut this down, and remember, I didn't remember. You're probably like, decorate the back of the card. I should have done that all at the same time, and then I would have just never have forgotten it, right? Would have never have forgotten. Okay, so we have 2.5 by 3.5, and hopefully that will be the back of the card. And one of my New Year's goals is going to be to reorganize my crafty area a little bit to make my desk a little bit bigger for me. I mean, my desk is only so big, but I do have things on it where I could maximize my space a little bit better. So that's one of my goals too over my Christmas break. I get a few weeks off, so excited. Although Christmas is one of those weeks, so that kind of, and I have company that will be here from out of town, so we have a lot of stuff going on. But yeah, that will be, this needs to be trimmed down a little bit. So once we round it out, it might not matter. Okay, I just want to make sure that this is glued on. So that week of Christmas tends to be pretty hectic. But I'm very excited because we are going to, oops, yeah, see, I'll have to trim that down. We are going to the Warner Brothers Studio Experience, and we are going to stop off in Stars Hollow and spend some fun Christmas time there. I'm very excited about that. That's me and my daughter's favorite show. My mom likes it, but not like, doesn't like love it, right? She's getting caught up on it because she knows that she's like, oh, that would be really fun to go to. And so she wants to kind of be a part of that experience a little bit. We always try to do some fun little Southern California thing when she's here. So this is thicker, so this is harder to fussy cut. I'm trying to make it look like it's a tree a little bit. I want to get some of the tree's characters in here, although I know I'm going to need to really trim this down to get it to fit on the card. So we're doing that. We'll just fussy cut it first, and then I'm going to cut out that ball because I know that's not going to make the cut either way. And then we'll decide how far we need to cut into the presents to trim it down. But so we'll do that, and then over New Year's there is the Golden Girls pop-up in downtown San Diego. So me and my very good friend and her daughter are going to go do that because The Golden Girls is absolutely one of my childhood favorites. I used to watch that all the time with my grandma every Saturday night. I just remember that vividly growing up. So that's a lot of fun. And so it's just like a good comfort fun show. So that'll be a fun like brunch. Okay. That I probably trimmed that off wrong, but I'm not going to really worry about it either because that just hits to the top of it. So we have tree. So I don't want them to misconstrue. I need to take a sip of my tea. I'm going to leave this probably as a pocket right here. That's what I'm going to do because I am going to put the prompt on a piece of paper like we did with the first one. Actually, this can be all glue. Can I just do that? Hopefully I did that correctly. We'll see. We'll soon find out. But I want to leave enough space to kind of pull that a little note in and out of. Okay, so I'm going to hold this and glue this down. We'll be cutting off the edges, and I'm going to get out my little piece of paper from here with the trees on it, and we will write that would be cute too. I really like that one. That one would match, but I just want to be more obvious about the trees a little bit. So when you're playing with your friends and you're pulling it out, like there's no Christmas, like is it Christmas tree? Is it like, what is it? Just going to attempt to cut as straight as I can. And then I would just fold this down, but I want this to be a little bit smaller. Fold this down. And then I'll probably just put like a little ribbon right here, and this will, let's see, I glued it too much, didn't I? I knew I was running that risk when I was doing that, but I did it anyway. There we go. Okay. And I'm going to trim off the excess on the side. And the presents got kind of in the way a little bit, and we're just going to keep it like that. So everything is tree related on here, okay? And let me see if I can get my ribbon is on the side of me. I have probably a fun green ribbon. So trees. And then we're going to cross this one off because we're going to be done. And then people is going to be next. I'm very excited to get out the Tim Holtz people. Let's do the ribbon first. Now, I have a whole basket of ribbon here. So that's a mess because my cat went through it. This ribbon has trees on it. My cat took this off too. She's very fun that way because she's like a teenager. So I think that this ribbon would be fun. I didn't know if I had any other like tree type ribbon. I have elf. I have a lot of ribbon from last year, and we decorated our ugly Christmas sweaters because that's one of our traditions. I think that's the only ribbon, or I could use that because that's pretty rustic too. The only ribbon that has trees on it though. Yeah. Okay. So I do have a crafty closet in my room because I have an extra closet in my craft room, and I store stuff up there, but boy, does she love to get into it. Or my daughter's cat's a little bit older and she doesn't necessarily care about all that stuff, unless if I'm over there and it's time for me to feed her, then she's up in there because then she's trying to get at eye level to me for attention for food. So there's that. Okay, this is probably going to be a little bit big, but no worries, no worries. Just gonna kind of glue it down. I think I want it a little bit shorter. And we're just trees. Okay. I'm gonna use my Fabri-Tac. Let's get that out. But I just kind of want to make sure that we have a good like little tab right there, and it shows the tree a little bit. So we have the tab. Let me get out my Fabri-Tac. I do have to kind of prime this by rolling it. And then our next one is people. And we're at a pretty good time right now. So we can kind of just keep going. I'm just gonna dot this. Has that string because it's the acetone based. And it smells a little bit, but it should be, it should be fine. And I'm just gonna put this right here. Speaking of smells, I really love Christmas smells and Christmas smells in the home. I had pine going yesterday in my kitchen, and it was like a kind of concentrated area. And I'm not going to be gluing this down, although I said it and I got glue on it. And so I was like, oh, it's kind of giving me a headache. So I was like, well, I want to do like a natural Christmas recipe that you could do like on the stove, right? Because I have all the stuff from Thanksgiving. I have the cranberries and clove and allspice, and I have all the good stuff. And so I made like a little pot with oranges. What did I use? I used oranges, cranberries, and apple. I did allspice, I did rosemary, I did clove, I did cinnamon sticks, and very excited because like the reviews, and I even like went on TikTok and looked, and like they're like, oh, it'll make your house, like it's natural and make your house smell like Christmas. So there we have trees. And by golly, it did not. My daughter came home from work yesterday not feeling the greatest, and she drank it as tea. So it's super healthy, like it's perfectly natural, because then it's just filtered water that I used in it. But man, it did not smell like, and I even have it simmering on my stove now, thinking like maybe it was just me. So when I walk back out there, I'm hoping it'll smell like that. But yeah, that was kind of disappointing. Okay, so I'm gonna live on the edge, and I'm just gonna glue this down. I'm gonna put glue all over this because that'll be the last little bit of that paper. And here we go. I'm trying to, like I said, go live more often, and I do have a Crafty Advent coming up. No, I'm working on Crafty Advent now. I have a Crafty collaboration coming up, and that starts next weekend, and then I will be doing that on the 7th. My video will drop, and then on the 30th my video will drop, and then I will post the link in here as well as for Sweet Pea Curiosities, so you can go ahead and get that set. Grab some of that sparkly paper from Walmart. I have to order mine off of Walmart.com, but they're pretty fast with shipping. And then New Year's Eve, I'm going to be doing a streamathon with Raul, and that'll be right here on my channel. I will be, okay, people. So I will be streaming from 6 to 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and so that's going to be exciting. So I do have some of that stuff coming up. So I've been trying to perfect my lives a little bit better. Like, I'm not, a big technical gal. I know you probably noticed that from my videos and things like that, but I do enjoy the Crafty community, and I enjoy doing the videos and going live, and I enjoy going on other people's lives. I think that that's a lot of fun. So I just kind of wanted to make you aware of the things I have coming up. These are all turned upside down. Cute, cute, cute. I want it to be, there's that Santa. Love him. We could do some holly, like so cute, so cute. Oh, people, love that. But he's wearing the ice skates. Just would love to Or he's holding the ice skates, not wearing them necessarily. But I have more people too, like winter people we can pull out if I don't find anything that I really want. I think I want to use those guys full size. I've said that before. I love these two. I think I've used them. These two I've used on something else too. It's just so cute to me. But these would be cute. We need people, right? And we don't want to confuse it with like kids. So we have people here. Are they holding anything that would be like, they don't really speak winter to me either, or Christmas. But I guess they don't need to. That's the fun of this Advent, is this could be an Advent for creativity, right? This could be a fun creativity Advent. I just wanted to try to get, I don't think I want to use kids because then it might get confusing that the prompt is kids. They're a family. Okay. Let me pull out my other one. So it's right here. Trying to see if I have a Christmas one, because he names his people different, but I have right here. I also have these people, and I mean, let's be honest, I'm not very organized with this. I've just made a complete mess, but I'm probably just gonna end up putting all my people together anyway. Those are people, and they look Christmassy to me, and I do like that. I could do something like that. Or we could try to set a scene with people. Let's see. Let's just keep looking through people. They're people too. They fill it up a little bit better. I think that's what I'm going to use, is those people. Because if you see two people, you're like, is it, like, you may not know. That may not speak people, right? When you see the three, it's like, oh, those are people. Which is kind of goofy, but yeah, he's cute. That reminds me of a Christmas Story for some reason, because of that hat, I think. That's fun. Okay, okay. And if you just get the two people, it speaks of like a couple. Like, is that a couple? Like, oh, aren't they precious? Oh, I love that. There's like a few older pictures of my grandma that was in my grandma's things of like my aunts and uncles and stuff that are fun like that. Well, now, let's see how things change, huh? And then we could see, we don't even necessarily have to cover up the, with paper. That's fun to me. I really like that. I don't think you can see it, although, because I'm not on camera, because if I can't see it over there, there we go, a little bit better. Okay. And then the older ones, these are fun because they come with like cards. Like this could be a whole card front and just a piece of paper, decorative fancy paper behind it. I know I completely missed out on Craft Roulette last week, and it was like fancy paper. It was like perfect for a Christmas card. I got so busy. And I'm almost at Club 52, so I need to like get to getting. I'm going to stick this in the basket behind me. I think I'm going to use these ladies. I think I really like how this is because that's people. And I'm going to have to cut them off. I do realize that. But these guys speak to me as well. These guys are fun. I just like the idea of the holly. Like they fit on there a little bit better. And that could be Season's Greetings. I don't know. I like the girls. I really like the girls. And they take up more space. So I don't necessarily need to cover this up with a decorative piece of paper. I can just kind of let it go there, and then what I can do is I can ink up like in a gray maybe, or like a vintage. I can kind of ink that up. So that's what I'm going to do. That's how I'm going to start it. Let me get out my glue, and we're just going to glue this down the best we can, and then we're going to be layering up on it. And get it down as best we can, kind of how it was, right? Is that how it was? Wait, no, that, yeah, that's good. Okay, so because this is smooth, I say slick normally, but it's smooth. This is a smoother piece of paper because the card is smooth. Kind of want to hold it in place for a little bit longer. Hold it in place, and this is a perfect opportunity to use your supplies. Perfect opportunity. So if you're watching the replay, let me know what you're most excited about for the holiday season. Like, is it the creativity? Is it maybe you get time off? You know, is it the weather? Is it the camaraderie with family and friends? Is it the baking? Like, I love doing that. Okay. So I'm going to put this down. Mine is just everything. I love the Christmas movies. I love the decorations. I love the traditions. I love the baking. I love it. I always have. I had really difficult parts in my childhood. And so my mom always really like made the holidays extra special. So it was like, that was the one fabulous thing in the year I could count on that, you know, didn't interfere with the rest of my development. And so she made up for, you know, what another parent couldn't. And so it's just stuck with me. It's just been like my favorite. And so that's how we just always did over the top with the kids, because it's just fun. And so that's how it's kind of always been. And I'm going to take a pencil because I'm going to cut these ladies off a little bit. So that's what it is. I always like to try to take extra time off and really celebrate the season. And now I have a grandson. It's so much fun. Like, Christmas shopping for him, oh my gosh, it's just been the best pleasure ever. So fun. Okay, I'm gonna glue these ladies on. I'm going to probably just trim it all off at the same time. Let's just do that. So I'm not going to, I don't think we need to do a prompt card in this one, like a pull out to tell you what the Advent like the prompt is. I just don't think that that's going to be necessary because we have people here. I mean, you could construe it kind of as anything, but really what this fun little project is going to do is going to spark you and your creativity. Like, what do you take away from this? Oops, I moved it. How does this inspire you to create something? So there is that. But there's people here, right? Oops, we need to glue these ladies down. I'm gonna hold their heads just a little bit because this is gonna be, we're layered up just a little bit here. Okay, so I'm gonna cut around. And I'm just gonna cut off the edges. I was gonna do my rounded trimmer, but I'm taking a chance. Taking a chance here. pretty thick. Pretty thick that was. Okay. So we're gonna sweep everything off to the side. Now we want to ink that up. I have brushed corduroy. I know I said gray, so it could be like, or blue. We could do a fun blue maybe. Okay, I need to kind of push things off to the side here. Let me see if I have like tumbled glass might be a little bit, oh, that could, because it'd be like the sky in the back to me, is what I'm thinking. Oh, no, that's not. Salvage patina is not the one, obviously. We have stormy sky. That could go, that's going to be a little bit better. Let's do stormy sky because it's like a winter sky anyway. And we're going to put these back over here next to me, slide that in. I'm going to get my blue. I probably should have done this. I'm just going to done this before because I kind of had an inkling that this is what I wanted to do, but I wasn't sure. So we just kind of inked it up just a little bit so you get that contrast. Though it's just not the stark white. And that is going to take a little bit to dry. So I probably need a smaller. A smaller little brush, that would make more sense. But no worries. We're using what we have in our stash here. Okay. So this is our people. And I have things falling, so let's try to get it back. And here we go. Okay. Welcome, welcome. I'm so excited you're here, everybody. I'm doing a crafty advent. So if you just want to say hello. So we have people done, okay? And now we have the fifth one is gingerbread. So I'm doing the 12 days of crafty advent for Christmas, just for some creative inspiration. If you're maybe want to play a game with your friends or you need some inspiration, it doesn't necessarily have to be Christmas inspiration, right? So I hope if you're watching the replay, you can let me know what inspiration you're gathering and if you're going to play a fun little game. That's why I'm doing the playing cards, so we can kind of shuffle them a little bit and spread them out. And I'm going to have to set this aside because this is not going to necessarily fit back in at this moment, but I do want some of my crafting space back. Okay, let's set this off to the side because we finished with the people. Okay, so now we are doing gingerbread. Gingerbread is one of my favorites. I have quite a few gingerbread papers out, so I'm gonna grab the 5 and set this aside. And in just a little bit, we'll kind of, I'm probably only gonna get through half of these, so I'll do 5 and 6 because then I do have an appointment, so I will have to go. But I want everyone to go back and watch the replay and kind of let me know what they enjoyed about the replay and the video, and my crafty collab announcement and the live stream for New Year's Eve announcement. That's a lot of fun coming up, and we're just kind of talking traditions and things like that. I am going to pull out, oh, I love this, because we don't necessarily want to have to write down the prompt every time. I also have another piece of paper. So what I'm gonna do is pull this out because I am gonna need this, but I have more gingerbread paper in my stash now that I'm moving everything. I have this full set that I have never used, believe it or not. So I can use some of the cut aparts in here. And this is a little bit of a different color scheme, but we have the whole gingerbread. You understand. I wanted to, you know, you understand that it's gingerbread. I wanted to use this as the background because it speaks more gingerbread to me. So we have the whole, it's 2.5 by 3.5. This is directional. This is not a perforated edge right there. So I'm just going to cut that off. I'm going to cut it down just a little bit more. Okay, so we have 2.5. We have 3.5. And we want to decorate the back of our card. So all of our deck is going to be decorated the back of this. Because I did not go through here and do this. I just didn't want to keep it all like the card. Okay, so I'm doing the 2.5 first because this is a little bit directional, I think, but it doesn't, I don't think my first one I did was directional. We'll pull out everything we did and kind of review it. I'll do a separate video doing the other 6. I'll probably film that today and try to have that out in the next day or so. Let me take a sip of my tea. Okay, so we're just going to glue these papers down as our backgrounds, and we're going to get out our glue. And let's see, I'm just going to put glue on the back of the card because some of these I've been cutting over and some of these I have not been. So it's fun that we can get inspiration from each other. Oh, did I cut this down too far? Oh no. What did we do? 3.5. Oh, it's just under. Oh no. It's fun that we can gather inspiration from each other in the fun crafty community. And like if we're like not really feeling our creative mojo, maybe we can go get some inspiration from others. And that was just kind of the goal of this video and this live today, because I know that the holidays can really stifle a lot of creativity and not spark joy in a lot of people. And there we go. I know I cut it a little bit bigger on purpose, like, but you know, I was feeling insecure for cutting it a little bit too short, the other one, because I didn't measure it as accurately. So better to cut it too big than too small, so it's fine. So we're just going to kind of lay this down. And all of these prompts that I brainstormed don't have to be Christmas. Like, you can do anything, Valentine's cards, whatever you want. I mean, gingerbread, that's pretty, you know, mainly gingerbread is made at Christmas time. It doesn't have to be. Sparkle, that could be any time. Santa, yes, okay, that's Christmas. You got me there. I was on purpose doing this to make a Christmas deck and a set of Christmas cards because I do not like the whole mass producing. And so I wanted a little bit of a prompt and a fun game for game night. And I have a few other crafty friends that would enjoy this. So maybe if you're like in a junk journaling group or anything. I sometimes do a Zoom crafty session with a friend who lives out of state, and this would be fun, you know, and then see what we kind of both come up with, because it's the same prompt and you're going to come up with so many different variations. Just like, you know, I'm not reinventing the wheel. This is not a new concept, but just like Craft Roulette, when we watch Craft Roulette and we see the gallery every week, like same parameters, but people came up with so many different things because there's so many creative minds out there. So that's a lot of fun. Okay, so I'm going to get out my rounded corner punch. Okay. And that's a little bit, just going to kind of cut the Okay. So now the fun part is we're gonna pull this out. I purchased this a very long time ago off of Made It. This is Echo Park. Oops, I'm sorry I bumped the camera. And this is, remember the back of the card. This is what we're decorating for the card. And we have gingerbread here. I'm gonna pull the whole thing out and throw the other off to the side. I have stickers, which could be fun. Official cookie tester. This would be fun probably on the bottom. I really, really like that because that really speaks to the gingerbread. Because I didn't want to have to slide in and out. Sweet as a Christmas cookie. I didn't want gingerbread cookies. A recipe. Here we go. We could do... make a recipe Christmas card. That would be a good fun little gift, and give them the like a give them the things in a jar. These are probably gonna be a little bit too big, these color cards is what I'm thinking. Cute, cute. Gingerbread trees. Oh my gosh, let's fussy cut that. That's too cute. Oh, here we go. We're getting into a little bit more. Love this. Love it. Okay. Gumdrops. I love Echo Park paper. We have more recipes. Like this is really cute. That would be really cute actually. Like what do we want to do? I don't know now. I wanted to fussy cut. Where did it go? Well, I lost it. I wanted to fussy cut these because I thought this would be so cute with the banner. But now I'm thinking I could showcase this, fussy cut this out, and do the banner as well. Let's do that. Where did the banner's right here, the gingerbread banner. I just think that would be cute. Okay, let's do this. I'm not gonna overthink it. I'm gonna put this back in my pile with my Christmas things. Let's cut this out, and then I'm gonna fussy cut it so I'm not going to use my paper trimmer right at the moment. And then we have our Crafty, our fifth Crafty prompt, which was gingerbread. Okay, so I am gonna fussy cut this. And this is just extra from before. Okay, let's just fussy cut the whole thing and then we'll see what's going on. We'll kind of have to cut out from there. Like, I don't know if I need the whole pedestal. But I like fussy cutting with these scissors because they're more comfortable for me to hold. I get fewer passes. I'm gonna kind of leave a little bit of the green on here so we get a little bit of a dimensional look. So I'm not quite bubble cutting it. I'm just following the line very closely. I tend to not be a very neat bubble cutter. I'm trying to bubble cut something, but a lot of stickers, I want to stick something down. These just glide smoother too than my cutter bees for some reason. My cutter bees are also older, but I just want a little bit of a shadow. Like, we have old stickers in our stash and things, and they've kind of lost their stick, or we've lost confidence and they're going to stick to a project. We want to stick it down on a piece of paper. I like to stick it on a piece of cardstock and glue it down, and then I try to bubble cut around them. Those don't tend to be as neat. Okay, so we have this. So this could be the whole thing, just gingerbread. That could just be that. But I cannot leave well enough alone because I want those little guys to be in the background because I just think that they are too stinking cute. So they are stickers. I am going to have them here. And then I'm just gonna cut off the ends. That's what I'm doing. And I'm gonna try to round it with the playing card. And so there's not really anything exposed. And then there we go. Okay. Their heads are sticking up a little bit. I don't know if I necessarily want to cut those off, but I do have a little bit of this like cornstarch baby powder solution for when I do embossing, and that'll take the stick right off. So we do have that. And then I'm going to stick this down, and that's really basically just in the background, right? Like it didn't need to showcase anything. I could have done it in the front. I probably should have done that. This is probably already stuck down. Oh, bummer. But I don't know, is that what I wanted to do? I kind of just wanted it to be in the background. Well, it's done now. So that's what we're doing. Because now I just put it down. I was like, oh no, I could have been in the front too, but we get the whole gingerbread thing. I don't need to write the prompt down. I don't need to make a pocket on this card. It is gingerbread. Okay, so there we go. I'm gonna glue this down. How can it not be gingerbread, right? We have the gingerbread in the background. We have gingerbread everywhere here. We have a gingerbread house. And then this is pretty thick because we've layered it up, right? So we're gonna step this off to the side, and then we're gonna review everything that we've done in just a little bit, because now I wanna do number 6. And number 6 is going to be winter. Okay, so I wanna pull out my paper again, because I think that there's a lot of great winter opportunities in the book that can decorate. Oops. Let's put that all the way down so I don't stab myself. That can decorate the card. And there are a lot of cut aparts in here too. Like this speaks winter to me. I really, really like this. And then this could have like a little tag in it. This is winter as well. This or this, but I like this. So let's kind of think along those lines, because then we could do a fun wintry background, which that's winter as well. So that and that would go perfect together. And add it like a little bit of color, and then we've got like vintage too. But I was thinking, because we used this for trees for our number 3 prompt, we turn it over and it's like this. That might match a little bit better. It's a little bit more of like a muted palette, which that's winter, right? So I'm just going to take this out and see if we can get a little bit of ribbon going on the side, because this does have a little bit of a punch in it. I don't really like the perforated, so I'm going to cut it down a little bit, but I do want this to be a little bit smaller as well. We could put the prompt inside as well, just in case if we pull that during the game and we're like, what is that? Who knows? This necessarily isn't directional either, so I'm going to do the whole, we'll start with the, let's do 3.5 this way. Remember, it was 3.5 by 2.5, just like decorating an ATC, which is perfectly a thing that everybody does. I don't know if this necessarily speaks winter. I might want this one. Hold on. That's going to be too small. That's just going to be too small, I think. Because I'm not sure if this, like, we catch this. This is totally winter. Actually, we can make this just a little bit shorter and do what we did with the other one. And, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. And we can ink it just a little bit. Okay, so this is like copy weight paper. So I wanted to sink my blade into the middle. Do that. I am going to, before I forget, do 2.5 by 3.5, because remember I did not decorate all of the back of the cards at the same time, which that's probably how I should have started, but I didn't. I want to trim this down a little bit because I do not want the perforated edges showing. And this will give us a little bit of a border as well in the project. Okay. Here we go. All right, so let's get, it's our 6th prompt. It's our 6th card. Let's get out the stormy sky because that worked well in our last one. And gonna ink that up nice and healthy and just gonna ink this around the side. And I wanna get a good border of ink around here. I know most of it's gonna be covered up, but I want it to look purposeful when we have everything all decorated. There we go. I want to thank you guys for joining me today, and I am excited that I finally figured out how to stream in a little bit of a better manner. I'm gonna let that dry. I'm gonna glue the back of this. Actually, let's do the paper this time instead of the playing card, and we're gonna decorate it. And if you're watching the replay, please, comment. Do you take part in Crafty Advent? Do you lose your crafty mojo? Like, and if you're here watching live, let me know if you like to do fun crafty Advent projects and or you don't like holiday projects. Like, I think this is gonna kind of be geared towards both if you want it to be, but I did do the prompts out of the things I knew I had in my stash, out of the things I really enjoyed. So you can develop your own set of prompts if you want. You can look up online for Advent crafty prompts. There's so much on Instagram and YouTube, and it's just everywhere. Okay, so I'm gonna stick this down. I am gonna go ahead and round everything off once I glue this down. So we're kind of doing the rounding at the same time. And this will finish our 6th card. And I will make a separate video with the next 6 because I just don't have time to do all 12 today. That's another reason why I'm so excited for my holiday break, because, and then I took time off of work, because I'll have time to just sit and craft for the better part of a day. And just lately, I just haven't had that. I'll have an hour here, an hour there, and I take what I can get because it really is my self-care and I really love it. Let's go ahead and round this off. And I do the 1/2 inch. You can use whatever round corner punch you have. You do not have to round these off. My cards were already rounded like playing cards normally are, so I just kind of wanted to keep that going on. You could keep them square, keep them, you do you. Do what you want. It's your project. And I plan on saving these and using these when I make Christmas cards. I'll make a video doing that. I'm going to round this off while I'm here. I like everything to be a little bit uniform, which I don't normally or necessarily in all of my projects, but I do. Okay, so I do realize we're covering up most of the snowflake. That might bother you, that might not, I don't know. We do have a little bit of a space to poke a bow through here, which I could do, and then leave it open right here. I believe I do have a blue. I know I have a blue in my stash, and I think it's sitting right next to me. Oh, it's the wrong kind of blue, I think, but I don't know if that would matter. I have that blue, which that might be nice. It doesn't, you know, that's like a stark little contrast, but I was like, I have the chiffon ribbon too, but the chiffon's a little bit bigger. And, oh, I pulled it all on. But I like that blue too. But now I put this up here, I think I like that. I use a lot of my chiffon ribbons for closing my journals. So that's exciting. Okay, I'm just making sure I'm in frame over here. And let's get my little pokey tool, poke this right through. See, I didn't have to do that. It didn't need to be poked through. I could put, it's really off-centered, isn't it? That's funny. I could put like a little brad or a grommet in here, because if we're going to be using these time after time, we're going to want that extra stability. And these, my grommets spilt because my cat knocked this whole dang thing over. And then there's a blue. We're just gonna stick with the blue because we have winter going on. And I always do the bigger one. Let's see. Okay. There we go. I need to fully open it. That's what I was doing wrong. I always do. Okay, I just wanted to make sure it was the same. So this is going to be off center just a little bit, but that's how paper did it, not me. And just going to kind of punch it down, and there we go. I could just leave it like that. I want to put the bow through it though, and I want to leave this open as a pocket, and I'm probably going to use this paper as well. To let us know what the prompt is, because this could be a little bit confusing. Okay, so I'm going to take the needle out of here and set it aside and hopefully not lose it, but you never know. I do things like that. Okay, and I'll just poke this through here. Probably just tie. I'm like the worst at tying. The absolute worst. Okay, so we'll tie this through here. And I'm just gonna tie like a knot. We don't necessarily need it to be a ribbon or anything, because these are going to be getting shuffled around. They're going to be getting pulled around, things like that. Maybe shuffled in a basket, maybe, you know, shuffled in someone's hand, maybe in a bag, whatever. So when we're pulling out these prompts, and I'm just going to kind of keep them fairly short, but it's just, you know, a little bit of a different, there we go, a little bit of a different design than the rest of them. So I think that that is kind of fun. Okay, so we're going to glue this, and we're going to save space, hopefully the right space we're saving open. So we can go ahead and put the Crafty prompt in there. And we're just going to put this down kind of in the middle the best I can. I'm going to take a sip of my tea. And I hope you're all doing well. Okay. And then we just want to slide this in and out, right? We just want this to be slid in and out. And just going to cut that, fold it in half. And this will be just kind of sliding and hiding right there, okay? So we're gonna write winter in here, which the trees are on the back, so it still sticks with the winter theme. Okay, so we have winter as our prompt, and we have 6 of these done, and this only took us like, oh, under 2 hours to do 6 of these, so that was fun. And we're just going to slide this in and out. I'm going to keep it right there so we know that it's there. Let me put a few things away so I don't lose things. And we're going to go over the 6 of them that we did. And I don't know if the first one's going to be dry or not, but, and I did utilize the number on the card, right? Like next to it would have been 7 because I was pulling it this way. I had it face down this way to remind me to decorate the back of the card because I was forgetting. So you don't have to do the same number because it doesn't matter. Obviously, we're covering it all up. That is funny of me, but it's okay. Okay. This first one, I still did not get to decorate the back of the card. Did I? That, yeah, the first one I did forget. Okay. And then this is going to be the first one is sparkle. So that's going to fit in here. I do not think that this is dry yet. So this is a little pocket right here. So we want to put the sparkle in there so that we know that way we know what the prompt is, because you can't really tell what the prompt is from here. And then you could decorate a project based off of this prompt. And this just kind of gives you a little bit of inspiration at the same time. Okay, and I do want to attach like a little bit of a bow, like a ribbon here as well. But I need that to fully dry. So we're just gonna set this off to the side. And I wanna make sure we kind of get everything in frame so you can see it. Let's see. Looks like my battery on my laptop might die, but it's okay. Okay, so we have 2 is Santa, and I wanted it to be obvious that it was Santa, so there's everything Santa on here. I did decorate the back. I did not make a pocket, anything like that. So now I'm doing it a little bit backwards. So let's do 1, 2, 3 was trees. We decorated the back, so all the back is going to look the same. This does not have to be Christmassy. And then we open this up because not sure what it is. And then we look and we see it's trees. Although it's pretty obvious there's trees everywhere, but it could get a little bit confusing. So number 4 is people. I did not do a pocket for here because I thought that this group of beautiful women would classify as people, and they're wishing us a season's greetings. So we have that. Number 5 is gingerbread, and I wanted everything gingerbread about this, no pocket. We have that. And then the last one that we just did together is a winter. So we may not know that this is winter, so we open this up and we see winter right here. I'm not going to do another bow for here, although I could see where the paper could wear out if it gets going in and out a lot. But no worries, no worries. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is going to be bold. I just wrote these down, so I'm going to do something fun, nice, and bold. I'm going to do a separate video for that. I'm so excited that you guys are here. I'm glad that you were able to catch me live and the replay. And I hope you guys enjoy your Sunday and enjoy the upcoming season. I will see you guys later. As I try to close this out, but my phone does not let me.